Guruka da anlattı, adeta bir yönetmelik fırtınası var üzerimize doğru gelen hazır giyim ve tekstil sektöründe. Biz de bu bölümde Avrupa Birliği'ndeki yeni mevzuatı ve yeni yönetmelikleri öğrenmeye devam edeceğiz. Uyum nasıl sağlayacağız? Bu uyum nasıl sağlanacak? Bunu konuşacağız. Neler yapmak gerekir? Üretirken yaşanan bu çevresel etkileri nasıl ortadan kaldıracağız ve tabii nasıl hesapladıktan sonra bu olumsuz etkileri nasıl azaltabiliriz? Bunu konuşacağız. Başlığımız etki azaltımının önemi ve kazandırdıkları. Yönetmelik fırtınasını birlikte aşalım. Bu bölümün iki değerli konuğu var. Blue Sign Technologies CEO'su Daniel Rüfenacht ve SGS Çevre Bölüm Müdürü Sayın Melda Amber Arslan. Kıymetli alkışlarınızla sahneye geliyor. Buyurun efendim.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. My name is Melda Amber Arslan. I'm representing world's leader testing, inspection and certification company SGS. I'm the Environmental Department Manager and Sustainability Ambassador of SGS Turkey. And I'm more than pleased to welcome Mr. Daniel Rüfenacht, who is the CEO of Blue Sign and SGS company. And since the 1st of October, he is heading to the textile business in SGS globally. Once more, congratulations. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having me today. Of course, it's not my first time to Turkey, being in the textile business for so long. As Mr. Mandani said, the food is great. I would say the spot is absolutely marvelous. It's one of the nicest cities in the world. I have been traveling around the world, and I must say, Turkey is great. I like Istanbul. Yeah, as I said, I've been in the textile business for more than 35 years, and I have been starting my career throwing stones into multinational companies' windows as an activist. And then my dad sent me to the factory, and I had to build up batteries, and I was in contact with chemicals. So as I was too stupid, I didn't do studies in chemicals, but I did studies in business. And I've always been convinced that business can change the world, and that business can change, can be more sustainable, and can reduce the impact that we have on this planet. So I worked with the Swiss government, like a program like USAID, helping companies actually in Turkey, so that was 35 years ago, the first time I came to Turkey, export to Switzerland. And then I had my own brand for 10 years, where, you won't believe me, we were doing what we just read here on the screen by Karina, traceability. We had a code in our garment. You could enter the code, you could see the cotton field, you could see the workers, you could see everything. We even had CO2 footprinting. And now, 25 years later, I think, hey, do we really need legislation to do that? It seems so. I'm disappointed, but we need it. And then I joined SGS, and I turned SGS into the most sustainable company in the testing, inspection, certification industry. We got a lot of awards. And I had to talk to what I call the mammoth in the room. So you have you have clients, right? But companies that have investors, they have a kind of mammoth in the room. Huh? It's not an elephant, it's much bigger. They ask you silly things, What is the CO2 footprint of an inspector going to inspect a barge? What are you doing for human rights in these countries and that country? So every investor has many questions. So you have to imagine, on top of the brands, you have the investors asking questions, you have the brands asking you questions, and you are the guys who need to implement, and you need to reduce the impact. So leads me to my last stage in my career, where from SGS, we own a company called Blue Sign, and Blue Sign is the company that helps companies in the textile industry to reduce impact. So it's a total sustainability solution provider with a strong focus on chemicals. And it belongs to SGS, and you will see during the discussion that we have some complementary services.
Thank
yes.
you. Bienvenue à nos pays.
Merci beaucoup. Teşekkürler.
Before starting, you have fancy shoes, but I would like to ask you a question about that. Is it written vegan on it?
Yeah. You know, you see my shoes?
Is it a brand?
Because when you do it like this, you can read it, right? So, I'm a fashion freak. I love fashion. And I have two teenagers at home, so I always want to be ahead of them, you know, in the fashion. So I go, I shop, I look around. And I went to this Superdry shop, and I said, hey, vegan shoes, cool, I buy. So I didn't think, I tried it on. It's very uncomfortable, sorry. It's unbearable. Anyway, you can't wash them. And I said, what is vegan shoes?
Can you eat it?
So is it from banana leaves? Is it from what? And I thought I was doing something very sustainable, very good for nature. And inside is polyurethane. Huh? It's toxic. So I were toxic. And I thought I was doing a good thing. This comes to the regulation of the green claim saying you cannot anymore, and that's European regulation, you cannot anymore, right, say what you want on the label that is going to be promoted in the market. So Blue Sign, for instance, has a market label, the Blue Sign product, where the consumer can buy product Blue Sign approved, which is totally clean along the supply chain, with a mention on it what it means, right? And this needs to be substantiated and independently verified. And it's one of the elements of this green claim in the European Union. You cannot say it's green, it's sustainable, it's vegan. How stupid it is, right? But I'm a stupid consumer, and I buy. And that's what I said before. The change is not coming from the consumers. The change is coming from all of us in the supply chain. It's all our responsibility to reduce the impact. We have it in hand. We can do it. Now, the business models are a bit different. We heard this morning about Etki Group. And I must say one thing. I was impressed by your president, Mr. Kaya, saying, hey, guys, it's cultural. It has to be in your DNA. It has to be part of it. It has not to be on top of it. Sustainability needs to be weaved in. That's my learning of 35 years, right? But it's okay.
As you mentioned, and also Ms. Karina and Ayşegül already mentioned, Ms. Karina gave very valuable, detailed information about new upcoming legislations in the EU.
Yeah.
That will definitely have an impact on from cradle to cradle line, from design to production, till after how the product is treated at the end of life. So,
I need the zipper
yeah.
for the presentation.
Pointer alabilir miyim? So my question comes here. How does Blue Sign help manufacturers and brands comply with the new legislation such as CS-DDD, CSDR, and ESPR?
Yeah. I'm not going through this presentation because Karina has done it very well, and they have better ears in Brussels than I have. Also, our industry, the testing industry, has also a lobby office in Brussels where we get a lot of information. What is important to understand? It's not tomorrow, it's today. 2030 aims, you know, the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, we are not going to reach them, right? So what happens, as I said before, there's a tsunami of regulation that is coming on us. You've seen a part by Ohana presentation, which is really good and very structured, and there's much more to come. And the problem is it's not only Europe, it's also US that starts, it's also China that starts, it's global, it's all over the place, right? And one that I would like to highlight here that we face every day with Blue Sign, because Blue Sign, we work together with manufacturers. We work together with brands in a system partnership. We help them to improve. We don't go and do only tests and inspections. We look at the companies, we make an assessment, and we help them to improve towards these goals. And we are aligning our sustainability to this legislation tsunami happening in Europe. So, I guess it disappeared from the screen, right? I can't see it anymore. Anyway, so the CS-DDD is one of the big headaches at the moment of the brands. The CS-DDD is all about due diligence. So you have to be aware of adverse impact on human rights and adverse impact on environment. So this adverse impact needs to be found, right? We need to find the adverse impact. Where is it in our supply chain? Needs to be addressed, and you need to communicate on what you do to reduce it. And it's all of us that need to do that. So that's very important. This adverse impact is very hard to measure. What is an adverse impact? So it's all about risk management. Where are our risks? And BlueSign, together with SGS, we have tools and measurements that we can help you to do that. By the way, there's another one that I don't see. I don't see my screen anymore, so.
Ekranı siz görüyor musunuz? Biz görmüyoruz
Okay,
çünkü.
good. So what I wanted to say is we have something coming which is the digital product passport. Everyone is looking for this DPP. And the DPP, we will have a light DPP coming in 2027, one medium light in 2030, and the hardcore stuff in 2033, right? We need to prepare. But when I say 2027, maybe it's 2028, doesn't matter. But when I say that, the problem we're going to have is we need to work now. Because the collections that we are producing is not yesterday, it's not tomorrow, it's exactly now that we need to work on. That's why it's so important.
Then I'm changing the line of my questions. So what would be the role of BlueSign in helping manufacturers get ready for DPPs?
So it's been 20 years. We have been offering sustainability solution to our partners. Mm-hmm. And again, it's a partnership, right? And in this partnership, we are going into your factories. We are helping you to do the resource management, to measure it. And if it's the right slide that I see here, we have proven track record where we have reduced all the impact on, water consumption, CO2 emission, and we have been doing this during 20 years, right? Now we have a full-fledged service offering, which is impact, which is different from a high-value partnership, but it's an impact partnership. It is something that is really accessible to all the manufacturing to work towards this regulation. And it's best in class, of course. And we have a chef menu. And then we also have, the a la carte menu that we offer through SGS services, because, as I said, we belong to SGS. And these SGS services will give you spot help on how to do your carbon footprint, on how to do your waste management, etc., etc. So it's a full-fledged of services that you can have either with BlueSign or with SGS. And you can see here on the slide, I'm not going into the details, that's our track record over the last 3 years. What are the reductions? Then what we offer to, or you want to ask me a question, right?
Of course, according to the slide. So as part of CSDDD and CSRD, it's becoming mandatory for the brands to understand the impact of in their supply chains and report on it. This leads to an increased demand from the manufacturers to monitor and reduce their impact, as well provide impact data and reporting to the brands. What are some of the tools you provide to your manufacturers that will help them with the impact-related requests?
I've been on the bright side, on the brand side in my career, and I know how much a brand can ask and how crazy stuff a brand somehow is asking sometimes. But the more my career goes ahead, the more I'm on the manufacturer side, because I believe that manufacturers have an input, have possibilities to demonstrate to the brand that they do the right thing. We heard it with Epic Group. Have you heard what they are doing? They do almost the whole work for the brands. And as I saw in my career, so many manufacturers that took that responsibility to do more for the brands than the brands is expecting, right? And again, sustainability is part of their DNA. And you need, as a manufacturer, take this on board. And I heard it also this morning by the co-president saying, hey, it's our responsibility to be more sustainable. It's for our future generation. It's for the DNA of Turkey. So what we propose to the manufacturers is a dashboard with reports where they can show year-on-year progress. You've seen Epic is doing this with HIG FM. We recognize HIG FM into our dashboards, and you can present these dashboards to the brands, saying, okay, that is my performance. And very often the brands will then do a full aggregation of all the reports that the manufacturers have to have a communication in their sustainability report.
Okay. So, last but not least, what would be the main benefits of working with bluesign for textile manufacturers?
Say it again. No.
Benefits.
The benefits.
Working with bluesign.
Yeah. First of all, one of the big benefits will be the preparation of the digital product passport. So we have 3 major databases that we run. We have a database on chemicals. So all the chemical manufacturers will present their good chemicals to the manufacturers. The manufacturers can then take these better chemicals for their products. So it's basically, you know that the biggest impact in the value chain is at tier 2. Tier 1 is easy, you know, traceability is easy. Every brand knows it's tier 1, but when you go down, then you will have to go down to tier 4, 5. Traceability is going to be a big thing. So digital passport is about the traceability, where is it produced, and the performance. What is the performance of your garment in terms of sustainability? And for that, we will have a database in which you can upload, as a manufacturer, all your products where the brand then can come and have a look at it. And also put, you know, you can see the database at the right side of the slide that shows that you can put together garments from materials and accessories and bring it to the brands that they just can take the QR code. That's one of the big benefits. Another benefit, of course, is to help you with the assessment to find the impacts, to measure the impacts. And again, we don't come and say it's good or bad. We come and say, that's the picture, and we help you in a partnership to improve. Because we have more than 100 specialists. You know, managing a company with 100 PhDs in chemical, it's a challenge, I promise. Huh? It's not an easy task. But they are all there to help our companies for the improvement. That's one of the benefits. And another benefit, of course, is the fact that if you manage to have a bluesign product, if you manage to label, is good for the value chain for the brands. So labeling is important here. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you for the valuable information.
Thank you.
Ladies and gents, if you would like to take the opportunity to speak in details with Mr. Daniel, we have a booth at the left-hand corner outside. You can take the opportunity. Thank you very much.